Dear viewers and subscribers, welcome again to our YouTube channel Max the Service. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive all notifications regarding any video we are uploading on this channel. Hi guys, welcome again to our YouTube channel Max the Service, and in this session we will actually go with the practical example of circuit breaker architecture. In last session we have discussed a lot. We actually deep dive into the concept of circuit breaker design patterns, how it works, what are the components, what are the states it's usually used, and we also talk about the configuration. Everything we have covered in last session, and right now we need to cover it with the practical example. First of all, guys, you have to go to the GitHub and you have to download this project with the name of demo. I will also share the link with you in the description, and also some of you already have it because we have been using this project from the start with all DevOps series and everything. So today we are going to integrate circuit breaker in our SpringBoot application. For that, first of all, what we need to do, we need to actually add some dependencies, required modules, we need to add some configuration, we need to create some classes, everything we have to go with it. So first of all, I'm not going again in detail what is a circuit breaker design pattern and how it becomes into existence, because there are a lot of vendors to provide this, but today I will be using the library Resilience4j, which is provided by Java. Okay, so to do this, to integrate Resilience4j in Spring Boot, we will create simple application to demonstrate it. Okay, actually circuit breaker patterns using Resilience4j, we will configure the circuit breaker to handle failures gracefully and provide fallback response when the service fail. So for that, we need a Spring Boot application, which we already have it, you can see, and after that you need to create a class, you need to create some configuration. Here let me show you. Okay, here you can see that we have provided Resilience4j library name and its interface, and then we provided our service name, where we need to create and also create instance of it, because whenever any HTTP head connected to this, it will it's a responsibility of service breaker to uh, to behave this service like this with all these configuration. Like we have register health indicator, it will show the health information. Sliding window size, sliding window size is just, it's a we can also provide sliding window type, either in type of count or either in type of minutes. So it will provide after because we want circuit breaker to check the state after some time, so that is after like 5 count or 5 minutes. Okay, this is what we have configured. Minimum number of calls 5. After 5 calls it should be checked with the circuit breaker state, in which state it is. Okay, failure rate threshold, actually when it reach to the 50% of failures, then it should be become in open state from close to open. Okay, then after 5 number of calls it will go for checking, after 5 number of count it will go for checking. These are the settings. With duration in open state, it's mean after 10 seconds it will remain in open state, and then it will go for testing that API call, that service. Okay, either that service is up and running or not. Again, permitted number of calls in half open state. So when it becomes from open state to half open state, let's suppose after 10 seconds it will become in half open state. when it will be in half open state. After it will test 3 times, 3 tries it will execute 3 tries, and if see if within the 3 tries any response get success, then it will become in closed state. Even consumer buffer size, it's a buffer size of consumer which is 10. So these are the endpoint configuration. This shows that from static bin, from any URL you can hit this API. So we already have configured like these configuration. We can also avoid this, but these are the very important configuration you must test with it. I also missed a lot of other configuration of circuit breaker. You can go with your testing, and you can do some more practice with this circuit breaker design pattern which in Spring Boot. Okay, now after this we have to create this class, okay, which I have to go into service. In Spring Boot application session, I provided you in brief that how we can create project and how we can create in layers. So here is service layer, and I am going to create a class .java. You know that we have to provide with cap. Okay, circuit breaker service. Okay, this is the class name I have created, and now I have to provide some configuration like guys, here I forget to include the dependencies. Okay, so first of all I have to provide dependencies, otherwise here circuit breaker configuration will provide error. Like if I'm going to provide let's suppose I'm assuming this is a service, okay, because this is provided by Spring Boot, so it will be resolved automatically. Okay, it's a service, sorry, S, I believe S is capital. Yeah, Spring Boot stereotype. And now I have to provide the sample service. I have to provide a method like if I'm going to provide circuit breaker name, there should be sample service fallback method. So what is fallback method? Actually fallback method will execute when there is any issue with your service. If a client is trying to access your service and that service is down, then we are going to provide default response. So this default response we need to implement, so that in case of service down or unavailable, that fallback method should be called, and your default feedback will be, your default response will be sent to the caller. Okay, here let's suppose I am providing fallback response, and now I am providing public string call external service. Okay, so our method will call this call external service. In any issue with this service, it will call fallback method. So I'm just providing here simulating, let's suppose, because I will be when I will be testing this service, I will be getting random response. To get random response, here math dot random, sorry, random, if when it will be more than 0.5, it will be throwing throw new runtime exception, and that exception could be service failed. Okay, now other than this, it will provide return service call succeeded. Okay, now because we have provided here fallback method, so definitely we need to also implement this fallback method here as well. Public string fallback response exception ex object, and here return fallback response get message. Okay guys, here you can see that this error will not disappear until unless you uh, import the dependencies. So to import circuit breaker, I should go into the POM, our POM file, and at the end I would like to add dependencies. That could be dependency like uh, group ID. Group ID is org.springframework.boot. This is a group ID, and here under this we need to provide artifact ID, which is Spring Cloud, and then starter, then we have circuit breaker, circuit breaker lie 4j. Okay, to remove this error, what is actually giving us version. So we also need to provide version. We have the version is 3.3.0. Okay, okay, great. So it works. Now we will run this project. Clean mvn clean. Okay, now you will see that here when I was creating this service, and you see here are problems, producing errors. Now it will remove because we have provided dependencies. Okay, sample service, actually we need to provide the instance of this class. Okay, now let me create sample service. I have to provide private static of our bean. What is that? Here is. Okay. Now what I will do, I have created our fallback and also our service class, and then we need to create circuit breaker controller, because definitely we can also use already controller we have, but I will be creating another controller so that you can easily understand. Circuit breaker controller dot java. Okay, circuit breaker controller dot java. And now what I need to provide, first of all I have to mark it rest controller, right? After that I have to create instance of our service private final, what was circuit breaker service breaker, what was that name, circuit breaker. Let me copy circuit breaker here. We will import here, and then here I have imported. Now circuit breaker service, right? Here I have to provide instance name. Here is our instance name. And now what we need to do, definitely we need to create a instance of this class, because I will be initializing this by constructor public circuit breaker controller, and circuit breaker service where this dot is equal to, right? Because whenever application context initialize this bean, it will also initialize your this service automatically. Otherwise because you already have provided annotation, even though if you don't want to initialize, then it will automatically be initialized with application controller, no worries. Okay, now I have to provide the mapping where I am just providing public string what test circuit breaker, and here return circuit breaker service dot call external service. Okay, so whenever we will call this method, it will be calling service breaker service external method, and in case of random, sometime it will be providing this response. In case of error, it will provide a fallback response. Okay, now because if I will not provide mapping, we will not be able to get this method running test. Okay, sorry, get mapping, and here test. Okay guys, so now we have also created the controller, and rest of project we already have. Now I will run this project, clean install. Clean will clean all the dependencies, and install will install the latest what I have updated in the dependency into the build. Here we have circuit breaker and we must import it. Here you can see definitely it will not. Okay. And here we have also some issue. Failure rate threshold. Let me check with spelling. Yes, here is issue with spelling, and here is with wait duration in open state. Open. Yeah. Okay. Now I will run it again. Just I'm building my project, then I will run with SpringBoot run command. Even we can run this application with our main class, which is demo application. Here you have option run and debug as well. You can also run from here, and we can also have command mbn SpringBoot :run. We can also use that command as well. Ooh, again we have some issue, and let me check. Simple instance. What is the problem with simple instance? Okay, where is simple instance? Simple instantiation strategy. Sorry. One of the following 3.5.x. If I upgrade to 3.5.x, 3.5. Let's suppose I provide 0. Okay. Spring Cloud, Spring Boot compatibility issue. To resolve it, I provided the latest one. It's upgrade one. So I believe we will not be having an issue. Okay guys, now let me try again. MVN clean install. I believe now it will successfully build, and then we will be able to run our application, and we will be able to run circuit breaker test. Guys, note that I have just uh, provide this demonstration how to integrate. Here you have seen that we have lot of issues about configuration, upgrade to version. Definitely whenever you will be upgrading or integrating some any other dependency or some other functionality, you may face these kind of issues. So please never revert. You go and fix all those, because these are the learning curves where you have fixed what you have fixed, so that in future you know what are the issues are and how to fix those. Okay, now I will be running the application. The we can run different with different method. Right now MVN Spring Boot run. Once this application get run, then we will be hitting our REST API calls. Okay. We also have two REST API calls, user controllers. We already demonstrated while we were working with the Dockerization, containerization, how to add user and how to get users. You have already done this, and now I'm going to just show you how to test our circuit breaker test. So here again, let me explain a little bit more. Whenever this uh, random figure will be greater than 0.5, it will respond with service call succeeded. Otherwise, it will provide fallback. So here is your fallback. Don't confuse with this. This is the your default message, default response. If you have service and get disturbed, get down, whatever, due to some issues, your DB is down, it is not providing proper feedback, then this fallback method providing the feedback response to your client. Okay, you can just set your hard coded, you can provide random feedback. Okay, please try other time, please wait, system is down, we are working, or something like this. Now I will be using Postman to hit this API. Let's see how we can test this. Okay, here is hello, and here you have seen that during hello what we can get hello demo, and now I will be providing here test. Fallback response service failed. I will keep. Oh, now you can see it is succeeded. Now you can see sometime it is service failure, sometime it is succeeded, sometime is open not permit further calls. Okay, great. Here you can see it is default circuit breaker service response, because you have tried more than provided configured tries. So due to that, it is providing us further calls to not permit. So how many calls we provided? Let me try and show you. Okay, permission about permit. I have provide 3. Let's suppose a permitted number of calls in half open state are 3. So if there is in open state, half open state, because after failure it will become for 10 seconds duration. Okay, wait duration open state. When we receive a failure call, let me show you. Let's suppose we hit our service and that was service failed. Then in this property you can see that it will uh, uh, wait in open state and try 3 tries to service. If we try more than 3 service will be hitted by a client, then it will show not permitted more than 3 tries. Okay, let me try again. I will hit my service, and after error, what error? After error of this service failed, then it will be in half state to test either this service is working or not. Now you can test service failed. Now it is service call succeeded. Service call succeeded. Service failed. In fail, if I will, yeah, because you can see that I hit it more than 3 times and get not permission. Okay guys, this was very good tutorial for you. I hope you enjoyed. I will be committing this code, and you can clone, and you can start your practice with this, how I have integrated circuit breaker in Spring Boot application. I also upgraded this Spring Boot application from 3.3.6 to 3.5.0. So you can also test and let me know if you have any issue. I will try my best to respond you and help you if you are facing an issue. Okay, stay touch, and in next session I will create a number of services, because we have created one service, and today circuit breaker service, and I will also create another service, and I will integrate API gateway, how we can integrate API gateway, and how to configure API gateway in Spring Boot application, and what a features API gateway provide us. We will go in detail. First we will be discussing what is API gateway, how API gateway works, what are the feature of API gateway. Then in very next session we will be providing practical example how API gateway integrate into Spring Boot application. Okay, bye, take care, thank you. Okay, please subscribe my channel if you are not subscribed yet, and also do like, share in your circle these videos, and also provide your valuable comments. And I hope you will be liking and sharing, so that I will be continuing